sec for it to pop up, and there it is. Boom. And it's both ends, so I've never had a file get lost.
Mm-hmm.
Do is just wait. Yeah, there it is. You have to wait about 30 seconds after we get off and save the file, because Skype will delete it within 30 days.
Oh, sorry, say that again.
Yeah, save the file like after we get off the call.
Mm-hmm.
Just wait about 30 seconds, and it will pop up. The file will pop up on your side, and then you just save it. Because if you don't save it within 30 days, Skype deletes it.
Right. Okay.
It's not like that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, man. So the background on the DNA report, the background is pretty simple. It's just to recognize that we have 2 copies of DNA in every cell in our body.
Mm.
The only cells that, and that's where you're getting this plus minus stuff. Plus CETP is the first gene I'm looking at, and the next one plus CLU. The only cells that don't have 2 copies of DNA are egg and sperm cells. Egg and sperm cells have 1 copy of DNA. When they fuse together, of course, that's where you got the copy from your mother and the copy of DNA from your father, right?
Right.
And on my report, plus generally means you're positive for a bad version of the gene. And Callum probably told you this, but
yeah, I think
that's what I'm looking for, right? Like, I'm not interested in your good genes.
Right.
You have thousands of those. We could talk all day. You could have a 100-page report on good genes. I just want to find the bad ones, and figure out how to fix them. So plus means, yeah, you've got 2 bad copies. Plus minus means a bad copy and a good copy. So plus minuses are harder to predict, but if they make my report, sometimes they don't even make the report, but if they do, they're probably substantial. You know?
Understood.
Yeah, man. So that's the background. And with age, you become more sensitive to genetic issues. So, like, you're not going to get Alzheimer's at age 26, even if you have the worst Alzheimer's genes, right?
Right.
You're not going to get a heart attack at age 26, even if you have the worst heart disease genes, all kinds of stuff like that. Like, age just amplifies the risk. So with age, you can't cheat your body as much.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, any questions on that? Does it make sense?
No, everything makes sense. I understand the plus. There's a lot of plus in my report, more than I expected, and
yeah. I mean, did you compare to Callum's?
You know what? I haven't, but I sent him my file the very moment that I got your email, and we haven't had a chance to really compare. I should have. I didn't think about doing that, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of entertaining to be able to compare DNA reports, with your buddies or your family or whatever.
Right. I mean, I do remember that he's got to be eating tons of meat now, as opposed to anything.
Meat, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Grains
no, that's good. I mean, yeah. Like, I definitely don't remember his DNA, but I mean, it'll be interesting if you guys just like go head to head on it.
Right.
But yeah, man, I mean, overall your genes are pretty good. They're not that bad, but
okay.
I would say like dairy and grains are going to be a problem, and that sucks because dairy is everywhere, grains are everywhere. I mean, whey protein is an example, right? Like Greek yogurt's an example. It came up a couple times. Dairy came up a couple times in your email already.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the chia seeds and all kinds of, but we'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, at age 26, you probably don't even notice that much difference, but it's making a difference. I had a professional baseball pitcher one time as a client, and I've had a lot of pro baseball pitchers for some reason, but one of them in particular was interesting. He had an allergy to soy, where he would get like so swollen up he couldn't breathe and all that, like a legit anaphylactic shock allergy, right?
Wow.
His whole life, like he as a baby, as a kid. And and so he wasn't able to eat soy his whole entire life, which basically means he can't eat any junk food, right? Because all the junk food has soy byproducts and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So his whole life he had to eat healthy, and here he is he was pitching like 98 miles an hour.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like I told him, it's probably why you're so healthy is because you had an allergy, so you couldn't eat junk food.
Yeah,
even
exactly.
if you wanted to. And that's probably, it makes a huge difference if you just add up all that healthy food over the years.
Right. I gotta treat myself as if I have an allergy then.
Pretty much, yeah. No, and we'll talk about it. because it's not that extreme, obviously. But yeah, man. So the first gene, CETP, I'm not even worried about because it's only a risk of Alzheimer's if your triglycerides are high. And the way to keep triglycerides down is just exercise and sometimes lower carb if they're really high. But usually if you're just exercising consistently, you're fine. And certainly check them on blood tests in the future. But at age 26, I'm not even worried. But it'll help your brain perform at a higher level if your triglycerides are below 88. They probably are already.
Okay.
So, easy gene, nothing to worry about, hopefully.
Cool.
Yeah, Alzheimer's probably doesn't run in your family too much, right?
I'm not exactly too sure. Only my mom's side, I'm sure of that they didn't have it. My dad was adopted, so
Sure, right.
we got no idea about his parents. But now because of the 23andMe, we're actually getting connections to like his parents or like his side of the family, which is kind of scaring them a little bit, which is why.
Yeah, where are you originally from?
He's from Toronto. He's born in Toronto.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But we just got his DNA tests sent out to 23andMe, and we're pretty sure. Well, we were surprised that I'm actually Greek, 36% Greek. I was like, what the heck? I was like, didn't expect that much, but pretty sure he's probably part Greek. His mom, I think, was Ukrainian, but yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. No, but I'm sure on his side of the family, there's hardly any, if any at all, Alzheimer's. I mean, you got good genes. Again, triglycerides are easy to keep down. Just exercise. A lot of people, the problem is a lot of people retire. They're like 65 and they're like, oh, good, now I don't have to exercise anymore. I can just sit around. It's like, well, that's the worst thing because then your triglycerides go up right at the time when your brain is vulnerable.
Right. Exactly.
So that can be, yeah. But again, easy gene, just stay sort of disciplined and you're fine. Now the next gene, CLU, is an intermittent fasting gene. It's called cholesterol. It's basically, have you heard of autophagy?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. This gene is, it's specific to the brain's autophagy. It basically means your brain doesn't have as much autophagy. It doesn't take out the trash as well as it should, your brain cells. But if you skip breakfast, you increase autophagy in your whole body, especially your brain, and therefore, and basically your cells are able to take out the trash better, right? So you want to boost brain performance, I say intermittent fast. Age 26 is not going to make that much difference. And if you're trying to put on muscle mass, if you're trying to get bigger, it's hard to do that with skipping breakfast.
Right, yeah.
So it's kind of like goals versus, it's basically you have to compare the goals and say, well, do I want better brain performance or do I want to get bigger muscle? And you can do both, but I would cycle, get bigger for a couple of years and then switch that off and just maintain and kick into brain performance mode by skipping breakfast, something like that. I'm not that opinionated on this one at your age. I think you can go either way for a while. But later down the road, I think you're going to need intermittent fast to have max brain performance. And more importantly, like you're going to have to cut carbs in the morning.
I do. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Perfect. Yeah. I mean, eggs, seaweed, nuts. Yeah, you're not doing carbs already for breakfast. I would say because your brain doesn't do particularly well with carbs, don't eat them until dinner. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah, you know what? I have heard that quite a bit. I heard it actually helps you with sleeping, which I have problems with supposedly. So if I have carbs later at night, well, I don't really feel any sleeping problems, but if anything, I can help anything with sleep, I'll do it, So
yeah, that's important for muscle mass. And why do you think you have sleeping problems? And somebody says you snore or what?
Oh no. I don't think I have sleeping problems is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
But I would love anything to help with sleep. Because I think sleep is one of the most underrated aspects of health.
Oh yeah. Well, it's interesting. Garmin, the Garmin watch, the Garmin Vivo Smart, and all these.
Yeah.
They have the ability to track your heartbeat and your sleep cycles and all this. And they published a study with billions of data points. And it kind of raised privacy concerns because they didn't tell anybody. They just published just took people's data and were like, look at this. they're like, hey, that's, but what was interesting is if you got if you got 4 hours of sleep, your heart rate was like super high, meaning like your body's still in the kind of a stress state.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you got 5 hours of sleep, it was a little bit lower, but it's still pretty high. But then like you got into 6 hours and it was like nice and low. 7 hours, nice and low. 7.5, nice and low. But if you started hitting like 8, 8.5, 9, especially, it started to go back up.
Mm.
Basically, people were getting too much sleep. Their heart rate's going back up, like they're going back into a stress state.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that's pretty generalized. It's not specific. So it could be people that are all just depressed and they're just laying around in bed or whatever. But basically, like if you're exercising really heavy, you might need 9 hours of sleep, right?
Right, yeah.
But I would just trust your body. I wouldn't like try and push really hard and get all kinds of extra sleep. Bodybuilders, like the ones I work with, like, regularly, obviously that take steroids. They get about 12 hours a night.
Wow.
Yeah. So they go to bed at like 8 p.m. and wake up at 8 a.m. type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or 10. They go to bed at 10 and wake up at 10. It's crazy.
Yeah,
But
there's a bit of life with that, like extra 4 hours a day.
Oh yeah, those guys. Yeah. But because of the steroids, that throws everything off too. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I wouldn't necessarily mimic those guys, even though they'll tell you like, oh, you got to get 12 hours of sleep. It's like, well, yeah, dude, that's because you're taking steroids. But yeah, man, I mean, I agree. Like eating carbs in the evening is good for sleep. Skipping them all day is good for your brain. That's simple. Seasonal affective. I mean, you talked about this in your email. You definitely have it. It's pretty strong, right? You've got 2 genes for it, not just one.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah, and this is probably that Greek coming out of you, getting that's living on the islands and getting all that sunshine. Because that OPN4 is a less common gene. That's a pretty rare gene. PER3 is a little more common, but they're both adding together to really cause a lot of seasonal. And now sometimes melatonin helps, but I'm not a huge fan of melatonin. Most importantly, actual UV. That's the key.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably talked to Callum about this, and you may have heard, but I'm a fan of tanning beds if you have seasonal affective in the winter. Just don't get burned.
Yeah.
Sunburn is literally the opposite of good health. It's inflammation, it's skin cancer, it's bad.
Right.
And if you use a tanning bed, you're not even trying to get tan. You just want to jump in there for like 3 minutes or 5 minutes and then bounce out. Most people do them for like 20 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
So maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, whatever it takes to feel awesome. It would be the goal, just in the winter, just January, February, whatever. And those memberships are really cheap, and sometimes they have them at a gym anyways. Like Planet Fitness in America has got them all around the country.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's $10.
We're locked down, so.
Yeah. It's so, I mean, but eventually you'll have access to them, and that would be my suggestion, because nothing beats UV. People buy these blue lights, they just don't work. They don't work very well. They work a little bit maybe, but anyways, yeah, you're sensitive to that. It's important to prioritize. Depression, anxiety. You've got an additional gene for depression called HTR2A, which doesn't mean you're going to get depression. By the way, HTR2A and TPH2, those are both very common. A lot of people have those genes. Like 40% of people have one or the other.
Okay.
So I don't get all worked up about them. But a lot of people have depression and a lot of people have anxiety, right?
Yeah.
And it's because of these genes. And if you go to the doctor and you say, hey, I've got depression or anxiety, they give you Prozac or Zoloft or Lexapro. They give you these drugs called SSRIs.
Yeah. I've heard them.
Yeah, they're trying to increase serotonin, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor drugs. The problem with those is you have side effects, you get addicted to them, you can't get off of them, they stop working after a while, so you're just taking a pill that gives you side effects and you can't get off of it.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
It's not good. More specifically to your genes and to virtually everybody that has depression, you've got a serotonin issue. Don't take a drug that increases serotonin. 95% of your serotonin is made in your gut. So in other words, if you eat healthy, you you basically prevent depression, prevent anxiety. You eat a bunch of nonsense, yeah, you're much more disposed to. So what does that mean? Well, we'll talk about it, right? Dairy, we'll talk about all that stuff. Because that differs for everybody. So, but that's the key, right? Like, because all the serotonin's coming from your gut, you have to have a healthy gut.
Right.
Caffeine, I'm not too worried about. Stays in your body a little longer than normal. Do you do coffee?
No,
Coffee
I don't take anything caffeine.
Oh, good, man. Yeah, stay off of it. It's better for you.
Oh, good. Because I mean, granted, I was on at one point taking like caffeine with L-theanine, like for quite a bit, but then I realized it just became like a more like angrier person. I don't know why.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it definitely has an effect. Like, my wife, when she drinks coffee, she's all chatty and stuff, and then like an hour later, she's all grouchy.
Yeah.
Like a 2 hours later, she's crashing out. But I mean, I drink coffee too, but I make it cold press and I do really low caffeine of it in it, and I do only 1 cup and all this kind of thing. But I would just say, like, hey, if you're not addicted to it, just stay off of it, especially because you have a gene later we're going to talk about that would help.
Very cool.
Yeah. And nicotine, I mean, I imagine you don't smoke, right?
No, but I see it's a plus, so I guess I get it from both my parents, is it? Or
Yeah, oh yeah. But they might have a plus minus, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
They could have a plus minus or a plus plus. Did they smoke?
Well, my dad used to smoke.
Oh
Sometimes he gets,
craving.
Yeah, he gets a craving, but yeah, it sucks for him to have like if he has this as well.
I'm sure he does. Yeah.
Yeah, and my mom's Ukrainian, so like Ukrainians in Ukraine, they just smoke like. Oh, my grandfather.
Oh yeah.
He didn't smoke like too much. He still smoked, so. Yeah, but Ukrainians love to smoke. So.
Oh yeah, man, I've been over there. Yeah.
Oh,
Europe in general. I used to live in Austria.
Oh yeah? Oh no way.
So yeah, even there people smoke, but Europe in general, it's like everybody's freaking smoking at the train station and stuff. It's pretty wild. That's why when Italy got hit with COVID, I was like, oh, this is gonna be bad because everybody smokes. It's tough on their lungs.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And then they blamed it on the different, they blame it on the strain of COVID or whatever. It's like nobody talked about smoking, but it's like, well, it's clearly having an impact. It's wrecking your lungs.
Right. That's smart. I didn't think of that.
Oh yeah. But yeah, lifespan. You have one gene. It's called sirtuin. It's a pretty easy gene to fix. I'm not super worked up about it. When scientists discovered sirtuin, SIRT is an abbreviation for sirtuin, they thought they cured aging, which is kind of funny because it was like 20 years ago and people are still aging.
Yeah.
But it matters. I mean, it helps. Like in animal studies, if you increase sirtuin, they do live a lot longer. And if you decrease sirtuin, they do live a lot shorter lifespan. So plus here means you make less sirtuin. You don't want to make less. Resveratrol increases it, and so does grapeseed proanthocyanidins or grapeseed extract. Either or with those supplements is very good for lifespan. But the thing is, you don't really need it until you're older. You can have it now if you want. I wouldn't worry about it until you're like 35. But it's up to you if you want to take it. I would say your estrogen genes are so excellent. I would recommend resveratrol if and when you do take it.
Oh wow, okay. Good to hear my estrogen genes are excellent.
They are, yeah.
I feel more manlier than ever now.
Have you ever checked your testosterone?
No, but I've been always interested.
Yeah.
I figure it could be high. But as of late, because of winter, it's probably lower, so I'd rather take it in the summertime.
Sure. Well, you might be, it'll be good. It might not be like super high, but I think you can do a lot to increase it, even if you're like 600 or 700.
Right.
Which we'll talk. It's more diet stuff, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But did you have any questions on the brain stuff?
Well, the resveratrol. When I heard that it was like, oh, this is like priority. I looked into it. There's like some doctor on YouTube that was saying like it's not exactly the best drug to be taken. It's not giving the like the studies. They kind of manipulated the studies to get the results that they wanted. But
Interesting.
yeah,
What did he recommend for Serotonin? Did he have an alternate recommendation?
Oh, I didn't. I don't think I got that far as
I think
getting.
he's right. Like what he's basically saying is, so back when they discovered it, like 10 or 15 years ago, they thought they cured aging, right?
Mm-hmm.
And clearly it doesn't.
Right.
But it does help. Like it definitely, you can make animals like rats and mice and rabbits and monkeys and all these different species. You can make them live to the equivalent of 150 years in human years.
Mm-hmm.
But they thought they were going to have them living forever. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
sure, they're manipulating the data, making it look more extreme than it is, but it still helps.
Right. Right.
That'd be my take on it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a Harvard researcher. His name is David Sinclair.
That's the one. That's the guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of. If he said, does he say it's good or bad?
He says it's good, and another
Okay.
doctor said it wasn't, and then he
Oh, okay.
tweeted out a horse emoji with a poop emoji. I just to that guy, to the guy that was criticizing him.
Interesting. Well, I don't know. I haven't looked into it that deep. I would say like I'd be open-minded, right? Like, but I would try and find an alternate if there's, if resveratrol is not as good as something else,
Mm-hmm.
then take something else. Unless the guy's got unless he's got a company where he's selling that something else, right? Like,
Yeah, I understood. Yeah.
unless he's biased. But otherwise, I would just stick with resveratrol for now because I know it's been studied by tons of different labs. It shows extension and lifespan. It's not just one study. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Understood.
And yeah, it's not going to cure aging, but it should help. Any other questions on that section?
No, not really. I guess I can look into like how to track my fasted triglyceride levels and.
Yeah, those will be easy, man. You'll just check them once, and if they're like 70, like I predict they are, you're fine. Check them 5 years later. Don't worry about them.
Mm-hmm.
If they're like high, then check them every 6 months or something until you get them down. Just drop carbs, exercise more, but they're not going to be high. I've talked to enough people. I had one person with 600 on their triglycerides, but that was like a 300-pound obese guy who wasn't doing any exercise at all. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. And I guess we'll get into the carbs section.
Yeah, diet. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah, I guess we can move on then. I think I'm satisfied.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's a good section, man. That's a really strong section. I can see the seasonal affective. Like I say, it kind of, when you have the depression gene that you have, it adds to the seasonal affective.
Yeah.
Because you're already a little bit disposed to depression, and then you throw in the seasonal affective, and then boom, it hits you harder.
Right.
And especially if you're doing dairy and stuff. So dairy, you're very sensitive to. I mean, you got 2++s. And again, you won't notice this that much at your age, but you'll notice it more and more with age. Like if you were 50, if I was doing a consult with you and you're 50 years old, you'd be like, oh, hell yeah, dairy hurts my stomach like crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's yogurt. And right now you're eating that and you're like, no, it's fine, right?
Right, yeah. Oh, shoot. So I guess I have to eliminate.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I would definitely eliminate because you're trying to put on muscle. I had a strongman competitor as a client once, like professional strongman. He's like 6'6" or 7 or something, just giant dude. And he was counting his calories. He was super religious about this stuff, right? It's his job.
Mm-hmm.
And he was doing tons of protein, tons of whey protein, trying to get bigger and bigger, but he thought he had kind of plateaued. He thought he was as big as he possibly could get, but he was doing lots of stuff. He had the same genes you have, 2++s, which is pretty strong dairy sensitivity.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with whey protein is it's dairy. This gene is not a lactose issue. It's a dairy issue, right? It's dairy proteins. And he cut the whey protein. So he actually had less calories and less protein. Yeah. And he immediately started getting bigger.
Really?
Like he gained like a ton of muscle mass. Yeah.
Oh,
and he thought he plateaued. He thought he was as big as he could get.
Right. That's what I was struggling like for the past few years. It's just like, why can't I get more muscle?
Mm-hmm.
It must be whey protein.
Yeah, it's any dairy products like the smoothies with the yogurt. Like you can have smoothies, just get the yogurt out of there. You know what I mean? Like don't do any type of dairy stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just not worth it because what it does is it causes inflammation.
Right.
And that tells your body that, you're in a stress state. It's not a time to build muscle. It's a time to break down muscle, right? Like if you're running away from a tiger, it's not in an anabolic state. That's catabolic. That's like time to break down your muscles and just get away as fast as you can, right? That's what stress does.
Right.
So dairy puts you into that state a little bit. It's not as extreme as running away from a tiger, but your body's still perceiving that stress.
Mm-hmm.
And type 1, I'm not really worried about. But that, because you obviously don't have type 1, you would know that generally.
Right. Well, one thing before we go into type 1, it says cow dairy. So
yeah, you can usually do goat cheese. Yeah, goat products are fine generally.
I love goat cheese. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's usually on pizza with cow cheese on it. So
yeah. Well, you can make your own.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, you can buy these like keto pizza crusts that actually taste pretty dang good. They're like made from cauliflower and stuff. And...
Yes, I have had them. I've actually made them at home, but
yeah,
the cauliflower pizza, it didn't turn out that well, but.
Yeah, I just get the crust and then I put the sauce on myself and stuff, and those are pretty dang good. But I also don't have any dairy genes, so I go crazy with cheese and whatever. But
yeah, lucky you know.
Yeah.
There's so much I have to eliminate.
Well, my wife has the dairy gene, so we don't do dairy at my place generally, and it's unfortunate because I've got a bunch of gluten sensitivity genes, and I'm extremely gluten sensitive.
Oh no.
And she can do gluten, so it's kind of like, well, we just cut both.
Yeah.
Most of the time. But yeah, any other questions there? It's a good question.
No. I guess more will be answered as we go on.
Yeah. Well, type 1, I mean, again, I'm not worried about this one, but what it does do is increase your blood sugar if you have inflammation. And again, how do you get inflammation? Well, for now, it's dairy, lack of sleep, sunburn, poison ivy, right? Like basically anything that causes inflammation will shoot your blood sugar up.
I see.
And so you're more sensitive to that. Whereas other people get inflammation and their blood sugar bounces a little bit, but not like explodes, right?
Wow. Okay, yeah.
And like if your mother was smoking when she was pregnant with you or something, you probably would have come out as a type 1 diabetic. But thankfully she didn't have like extreme inflammation while she was pregnant because you don't have type 1, right?
Right, exactly.
You have the gene. So that's something to be grateful for and keep inflammation down. You're probably doing that anyways.
Yeah. I'm glad to know my mom never smoked when I was in her.
Yeah, man, it happens all the time. I get plenty of people with type 1 diabetes. There's a guy named Stephen. What the frick is his last name? He's kind of a friend of mine, but he's more of like a social figure. He wrote a book called Understanding Heart Disease or something. But he developed type 1 when he was like 20 because he was like goofing off too much. And he's all stressed out in college and whatever. And it just came on, and it sucks when it comes on as an adult because you overdid the partying and stuff,
Yeah, that
makes
sense.
But anyways, yeah. Type 2, I'm not as worried. I mean, you have a couple genes. Most people do. Eat less carbs. What I do recommend to almost everybody is prick your finger and check your blood sugar.
Yeah.
Because don't wait for a doctor to do that. It's cheap. It's like $30.
Right. Like with like that reader, right?
Yeah, it's called a blood glucometer. It's like a little finger pricking tool.
Right.
You just pick it up at CVS or whatever pharmacy, over the counter. No need for a doctor or anything. And just make sure your numbers are below 85. And if it's European units, 4.7. Because if you're higher than that, there's all kinds of health risks and things. But if you're below that, that's optimal. And I want you to be optimal. Not just like okay,
Yeah.
And most people are above 85, just so you know. So it's not like an easy target. It's hard to hit, but it's not impossible. I mean, my blood sugar, I was on a hunting trip a few weeks ago in Arkansas with a bunch of health nuts, and we only ate meat the whole week.
Nice.
And I was wearing a CGM. It's like a thing that tracks your blood sugar in real time all the time. It's on my arm, and then you check your phone and you can see your blood sugar. And my blood sugar was about 40 all the time in the daytime.
Wow.
And at night it was going down to like 20, So it's not like impossible to get below 85. That's the point.
Right. Yeah.
So some people think it's like this giant ordeal. It's like, well, just cut carbs. If it's high, cut carbs. If it's good, don't worry about it. You're doing everything fine.
Or just go hunting with your bros,
Yeah, just take a week off. Because I was doing like 15 miles a day hiking and stuff. But if you go to the doctor and you get a blood sugar reading of 40, they'll tell you you're going into a coma at any minute. That's what's funny about it.
Wow.
They panic. Yeah.
Huh.
That's because everybody comes in at like 100.
Oh, I see.
And what happens sometimes if people have diabetes, they over inject insulin. They inject too much insulin, and then their blood sugar tanks and it goes down to like 40.
Mm.
And those people go into a coma because their body can't handle that because they don't know how to burn fats for energy.
Right.
Their body can only burn sugar, and all of a sudden the sugar's not there, so their brain just shuts off. Whereas
Wow.
me, like I've taught my body not to burn sugar all the time, right? Like by fasting and by just like eating lower carb most of the time. And so my body knows how to burn fats for energy.
Right.
If I drop my blood sugar to 20 or 40 or whatever, it's no big deal. My body just kicks into fat burning and I feel great. I feel amazing, there's no problem. But you don't have to go that extreme. I'm just saying, like, it's an easy goal, 85, but a lot of people ate carbs their whole life, so it takes a few years to kind of really get into that, where your body just kicks into fat burning.
Right.
So just be patient and see, but check it first. And the MC4R is another sunshine-dependent gene, where basically if you go out in the sunshine, your metabolism shoots up.
Right.
So
yeah, that's why I went for a walk right before this meeting.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Have to get the sunshine.
Yeah, get out in the sun, keep moving. It helps. And if you ever feel like you're tired and you want to take a nap in the afternoon, just go lay out in the sun with your shirt off in the summer and you'll feel this. You'll feel your energy kick up. You won't even be able to take a nap 10 minutes later, 20 minutes later.
Nice.
It's a good gene. And then fasting comes up again 3 more times with adiponectin on the next page.
Mm-hmm.
Adiponectin is a fat burning hormone, and you make less of it, which doesn't mean you're going to get fat. You don't have obesity genes, but it's just you want to be able to burn fat for energy, like I was talking about on that hunting trip.
Right.
Fat is very clean energy. It's like a Prius, right, or a Tesla or something. Whereas like burning sugar is like a diesel truck. It's real dirty energy.
Yeah.
And so you want your body to be able to burn fats, and you make less fat burning hormone. You make less adiponectin with all these pluses. But if you skip breakfast, you make more. You fix this problem.
Right.
I'm a fan of skipping breakfast. Again, if you're not trying to gain, once you've achieved your goal weight of muscle mass, then you can just shift into intermittent fasting mode.
Mm-hmm. Well, what if I still just eat the 3 meals a day though? Because like that's what I usually do. I have 3 meals a day, and then but if I have it, let's say 1 meal at 12, another meal at 3, and then another meal at 6, why don't I just have like the same calories? So
yeah, or you just
fat
more
then,
at noon 6. Yeah, I know people that do 1 meal a day and maintain like real gigantic weight.
Mm-hmm.
Like Danny Vega is a good example. Do you know Danny Vega?
No.
On Instagram or whatever? Like go to Google Images quick and just type in Danny and then VEGA and just look at images of him. He was on our hunting trip, by the way, in Arkansas. He's a health nut. He's got a podcast. I've done his DNA on the air, so it's not like confidential.
Oh wow, he is huge.
He's jacked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he weighs 225, just to give you some perspective. He's only 6'0",
Mm-hmm.
So
damn, 1 meal.
Yeah, he's
a big meal.
Well, and he doesn't do any steroids or anything. Like I've seen his blood work. He's an honest guy. I know he's not cheating because I've seen his stuff, right?
Yeah.
I've worked with him, and again, it's not confidential because he's got a podcast. But he only eats 1 meal a day all the time. Sometimes 2, almost never 3, and he just eats a shit ton,
Right.
But once you get to that weight, it's actually easier to maintain it too. So you don't have to like force yourself to eat all the time. You can just kind of eat what your body wants, and your body will maintain as long as you keep exercising.
Right.
But to get there took him like 10 years. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he just woke up like that. He used to be a scrawny little guy. If you look at his wedding photos and stuff, I mean, he's been working at it for a long time, but that's what you get. That's the results. Patience.
Good.
But the point is, like, you can do it with 2. You don't have to do 3 as long as you're eating more calories. It's all about the calories at the end of the day.
Yes.
And I'm not a fan of counting calories for weight loss. It sucks. It doesn't work. But if you want to gain weight, it works great.
Yeah. So I've heard. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what you do is you just like do 3,000 a day. And if that's not putting on muscle, you just do 3,500. And if you check a week later and you're still not, it's the average of a week, by the way. Like if you miss one day, you just got to eat more the next day and average it out at the end of the week. But it works.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So again, you could do intermittent fasting if you want, but it is hard to get that many calories. But eventually, I would recommend. And heart palpitations, you have a gene for that, and creatine really helps. So you could either take creatine, but just eat a lot of meat. Meat has a lot of creatine. So that protects your heart. If you were vegan, you'd have a lot of heart palpitations. Have you ever had them before? Probably not, right?
No, but my dad has, like, I don't know if he's ever had heart palpitations, but he has problems with his. He had problems with his heart. I think that runs on his side of the family. Like he had a heart attack about 6 years ago, 6.5 years ago.
Yeah, you should ask him if he's had palpitations too. I mean, he's probably eaten meat his whole life though too. The problem is people that go vegan with this gene, they are the ones that get screwed.
I see. Okay, good. I did not want to go vegan.
Yeah, I don't want to. Some people can get away with it, but I never think that's like the optimal go-to diet, you know?
Right.
I mean, every once in a while I recommend it because people have these crazy cholesterol genes and it does bring your cholesterol way down. But you have good cholesterol genes. I mean, this LPL gene is only a triglyceride gene. Basically, if your triglycerides are high, it's a higher risk of heart disease. Your triglycerides are probably fine. Again, check them, right?
Yeah.
But lectins, that's the big hitter, man. That's the one your dad has. I almost guarantee it. I'd put money on it, right? SELE, even as a plus minus, that's a 4-fold higher risk of heart attacks. Yeah, and 1 in every 3 Americans gets heart disease. So like if you multiply that by 4 times, it's pretty high risk. And then the MBL2 adds even more risk. So you have 2 lectin sensitivity genes. And then basically the problem with lectins is they're freaking everywhere.
Oh no, dang it.
Well, yeah, so lean on meats and stuff, like lean on animal products, you're already close. Like so lectins, like I mentioned in this paragraph, are made by plants to protect themselves from being eaten, right?
Yeah.
So like if a deer walks out into a field and eats a spinach leaf, not a big deal, right? The leaf just grows back. But if a deer walks out into a field and eats the spinach seeds, that's a problem, right? That's the plant's offspring.
Yeah.
So they put a whole bunch of toxins in their seeds to protect them from being eaten. And then what do we do in America or in Canada, whatever? We eat loads of seeds. That's like all we eat. It's like eat grains. They're on the bottom of the food pyramid the government puts out and all this nonsense.
Yeah.
And they're full of lectins. They're full of toxins. And lectin is not one thing. It's like a whole category.
Right.
It's kind of like saying automobile. It's like trucks are automobiles, vans are automobiles, cars are. Lectins just like gluten is one of the lectins.
Great. Here we go. So I didn't think I'd have to go gluten-free, but it sounds like I have to go gluten-free.
Yeah. Well, yeah. To protect your arteries, for sure. I would recommend it. I would say grain-free, not just gluten. I think it's even harder for you because number one, your dairy-free sucks, and then number two, you throw in the grains, and then it's like, what do you eat, you know? But I mean, I'm not here to tell you the good news, but at least the good news is that like if you get this stuff out, it'll really, really prevent stuff from happening. It'll help you put on muscle because that stuff is just triggering inflammation. But I would say like if it's seeds, be very skeptical. Like chickpeas or seeds.
Dang it. I thought I could get away with chickpeas. I've been loving the chickpeas lately because I thought it was protein. Now it's like that's gone.
Yeah, no, just lean on like meat and eggs and liver is like a multivitamin. Liver is like a superfood. Yeah, man, you can do like I would use plants more for your carb source, like potatoes and rice. Rice, by the way, is the one grain. Rice and corn do not have lectins. Those are like the 2 grains that are okay here. Whereas virtually all other grains, like quinoa and all these gluten-free grains, they have lectins. So, and again, you're catching this at the perfect time because it's not like you're 50 years old and you've already had a heart attack and then we're trying to like reverse all this crap that you built up in your arteries from the past 20 years. You know, like if you do this stuff now, it'll really pay off later. And muscle mass too. Because this is also contributing to inflammation and basically setting you back your muscle mass, right?
I see. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Can trigger inflammation. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Makes
yeah,
sense.
for sure.
But
So,
granted, though, my dad and my brother, like, they're big muscle-wise, like bigger than me.
yeah.
Well, I guess then
I'm
I
sure you
just,
got some of this stuff from your mom. They might not have the
yeah,
dairy genes, or they might not have the lectin gene. I'm sure your dad has the lectin genes, but not the dairy
yeah,
genes or something like that.
that makes sense.
Um, and you can still get big with a bunch of inflammation from lectins, but it'll just wreck your arteries. It's not as damaging as like dairy for some reason. Like dairy, people usually feel,
Mm-hmm.
and again, you won't because you're 26, but like if you were 50 years old, you'd be like, oh yeah, it gives me a stomach ache,
Mm-hmm.
like you'll feel it. Whereas people with grain sensitivities like yours, they almost never feel it, but it's still worth cutting it.
Right, right.
But yeah, and the gut section, you've got one more gluten sensitivity gene, so it kind of indicates like, yeah, your ancestors for thousands of years just didn't eat lectins and grains and stuff very often,
Mm-hmm.
if ever. And berries actually make the cut. Like you should eat berries; they're actually good for your gut lining.
Yeah, yeah. Eat berries all the time. Love that
Yeah,
stuff.
perfect. That would be a major carb source. NOD2 is a fasting gene. If you skip breakfast occasionally, that's good for your gut. I'm not too worried about your gut genes, honestly. You have a few, but they're mainly plus minus. You eat berries, you're fine. It's just the grains and the dairy, you know?
Right, right.
And by the way, even peanuts are technically seeds, right?
Right. Yeah, yeah. That's being eliminated. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
the peanut butter. Mhm.
I know I could look into this, but what else could I eat then? Like rice, corn, potatoes.
Yeah,
Like,
carrots, like cook them up, mash them, broccoli, all the greens are fine. But we'll talk more in the next section too, because you have another gene that's kind of rare in the next section.
oh, great. There we go.
I know. Yeah, you're definitely like a more animal product based person with your genes. I would say like get beef tallow, animal lard, because well, let's talk about the next section. We'll come back to that question. It's a good question.
Right. Oh, one thing though, you mentioned though that the animals eat the seeds and all that. So,
No, they don't. Like the deer, if you have a food plot, the deer won't eat the spinach seeds. They'll avoid them.
oh, okay. Oh, I
Yeah,
thought
they're
it was
smart though.
okay. I thought I couldn't eat the meat that it was like the
Oh no,
animal.
it's fine. Well, the beauty of like deer and stuff, like cows, right? They've got how many stomachs? Like 5 stomachs or something.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, man. Like Google it once. I'm not totally sure on the number. I'm gonna Google it because I want to verify my own fact check myself here.
Yeah.
How many stomachs do cows have? Right. Okay, that comes right up on Google. 4 stomachs. Okay, that's one off. So they literally have 4 stomachs to deal with all that plant toxin crap.
That's wild.
You don't have 4 stomachs, so it's not really like you're built to eat all that stuff. And so basically like one time I used to raise cows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
Awesome.
yeah, my dad had bought some land and I was like, hey, can I get some cows and make some money on that? He's like, "Sure, whatever, I don't care." And I bought like 3 or 4 of them. One time one of my cows got sick and my dad's a medical doctor.
Mhm.
And so we got a bunch of prescription drug for this cow.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, because we knew exactly what the cow had. It had like strep or whatever. It had some specific antibiotics. We are like, well, let's give him antibiotics or a specific bacteria. And we gave him like we just did the math and gave it the right dose based on the weight, and the cow died.
Wow.
And then we called the vet and we're like, what the hell, man? We gave him like the right medicine. This is what people give them when they have this. And he's like, oh, you gave it to him as a pill orally, and they have 4 stomachs, and that just destroys that pill. You have to inject it.
Oh, wow.
Like, oh, damn.
Jeez.
Kind of screwed up on that one. In other words,
Right,
the drug did nothing because it just got destroyed by the stomachs.
right. But that's not what killed it. It was
It was the
the
actual, yeah, the infection that it had that killed
infection.
it. No, we didn't kill it, but it died.
It died in this. Yeah, yeah,
So it was a bummer.
yeah.
But it was pretty sick by the time we were even like cows get sick occasionally and you just kind of leave them alone and they just get better. They're tough suckers, right?
Yeah.
Kind of been like bred to be a super tough animal. So this one was really sick.
Mhm.
But the point is like they have all these stomachs and they break all that lectin stuff down so it never ends up in the meat.
Right, right.
But yeah, man, any other questions on that section?
No, no, I think we're good.
Yeah, we'll come back a little bit more to diet here. Um, First of all, iron. Be careful with your iron. Like check your ferritin for sure. If your ferritin's too high, that's another thing that can damage your arteries.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to get down. You just donate blood.
Oh, really? Oh.
Oh yeah. Like women tend to have low ferritin because their period every month. They're donating blood every month, so their iron is almost always low. They have to eat lots of meat and stuff to get it up.
Yeah.
But for men, it tends to be a little bit too high, especially with this gene. And tell your dad, like, hey, I got this ferritin gene. Have you ever checked your ferritin? And make sure he's checking it because his might, it might be super high, and that's only going to cause much more problems. It's only going to contribute.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they donate blood.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, my doctor checks my iron, and she says like my iron's been great all the time. It's more my brother. I think he either has an iron deficiency or his iron is too high.
Yeah, it's probably too high. He might have picked up a plus on this gene. Like maybe one of your parents has a plus minus and the other one has a plus or plus minus. But yeah, I mean, if they're saying it's great, it's great. I'm sure it is, but just keep it on the list in the future. Occasionally check it,
Gotcha.
Vitamin D, love that you're taking, the D3 with the K2 because that's the good stuff. You're probably going to need more than 1,000 or 2,000, right? You're doing?
I take 2,000, yeah.
Yeah, you're probably going to need 5,000, but just keep taking 2 for a few months in the winter and check your blood in the winter because that's when you're not getting sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least enough sunshine to get your vitamin D up. So it'll be interesting to see where 2,000 leads, but just make sure it's above 50 on your blood test. And American units are 50. In Canada, make sure you're above 125.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have gotten my tests done in the wintertime, and they tend to get lower. So that was when I was taking, I think, just 1,000. So then I started taking 2 to 3 in the wintertime, but now I'm only taking 2.
Yeah, you're probably 5, to be honest, with your genes.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and again, the doctors will tell you that you're fine. Like, if you get a 30 on your blood test, they'll say, oh, everything's fine, because the average American is 30.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're below 50, that's terrible.
Right.
There's a lot of clear studies that show that, like, it increases fatigue and muscle dysfunction and just all kinds of stuff that you don't want,
Right.
Including depression. So it's just like the last thing you need. And in the summertime, sure, do 1 or 2,000. In the wintertime, do 5. That would be my number. Probably hit it on the head if you do that.
Gotcha. Okay.
And you can even buy a different pill and just save the one you have for the summertime, because they sell them at 5,000. So then you're just taking 1.
Right. That makes sense. Instead of taking like 5 each.
Yeah, that's annoying.
But what if I get like enough sunshine though? Well, I guess in the summertime that would make more sense. Yeah.
Exactly. You physically can't get enough sunshine up in Canada except for like a few months of the year. You can look at these vitamin D maps with latitude.
Oh, really? That's so cool.
Yeah, even if you need a certain amount of a certain wavelength, and the atmosphere filters that out in the winter. Even if you're out in the side in the like, say you get in December, you get a nice warm day. It's like 50 degrees. You get out in the sun for 2 hours with your shirt off. You get 0 vitamin D from that.
Wow.
It improves your mood. Like, you're still getting some UV, but it's not like the UVA or the UVB or whichever one you need for vitamin D.
Oh my God. I'm moving to Florida. I'm done. I've had enough of Canada.
You should.
Don't get me wrong. I love hockey, but that's all I love about Canada. So I can
hockey, yeah, man. I play hockey.
Nice.
I play in the men's league. I used to be a team captain in my high school team and stuff, and then I
Nice.
still play like the old guys league,
Right. What position do you
play? Usually center.
Center, yeah.
Or left wing because I'm left-handed, but or I play hockey left-handed. But yeah, we wear pads and we have goalies that are all legit pads, and we have referees and everything. Like, you pay money to be in the league, and then it's legit. It's be fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. I used to play some ice hockey, but now it's more ball hockey, and it's just a ton of fun. It's really good.
Yeah, you should see on YouTube. I've got a video where I did a video of playing hockey. Like, one of my games is filmed.
No way.
And then I had a video editor cut it down to like 10 minutes, so it's actually watchable.
Nice.
If you search like Anthony J Hockey on YouTube, it'd probably come up unless they've got it like shadow banned or something. I don't know. Because sometimes I talk about COVID, so they shadow ban me,
Right, yeah.
YouTube hates that. You mention the word COVID and they're like flagging it all the time and stuff. But anyways,
Is it on your YouTube channel, if anything?
Should be.
All right, then I can look at there.
You might have to check. Try to search Anthony J. Cast and then the word hockey.
Oh, Cast. Okay.
Yeah, add the word cast, because if you search my name, too much science stuff comes up. It's called Puck Yes. I just found it.
Oh, Puck Yes. Okay.
It's only got 16 views because I switched channels. I made 2 separate channels.
Okay.
So one of them is like a science channel, and then, I decided to make one for like outdoors, like just more general adventures and stuff that I like to do.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't find it, but that's all right.
Yeah, it's weird, huh? They definitely shadow ban. YouTube's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, it's been very bad. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. I'm not even like, I've lost interest in politics a year ago, but it's been bad. It's been very bad.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I think that's the biggest battle in our culture right now is freedom of speech.
Yes. 100%.
It's like, man, people need that freedom because who knows what the hell they're going to try and pull if you don't have that.
Yeah, exactly. And then just the wrong information gets out and people are just like,
they think it's good.
Yeah, I don't think people, I'm losing hope in people, but I don't think people are all that stupid. It's just that like they're desperate. A lot of them are desperate. They can't afford things, and so they just like have to hear whatever they have to hear, and they have to move on with life, and they just try and make do with what they have. So
it's very different. Like you said at the beginning, it's super different where you go, depending where you go, right? Like if you go to Florida, it's a totally different feel than if you're in New York and if you're in Toronto. Like it does make a huge difference where you go, how the cultural, like differences is just massive.
Right. Yeah.
But anyways, like, so back to the vitamin D section and the pesticides, you're definitely more sensitive to pesticides and different chemicals. Like your body doesn't detox them that well, and seed oil. So I was talking about seeds earlier. You're just so sensitive to seeds, So again, even the oils like the canola oil and the soybean oil and all that stuff, go with animal lards like bison fat or beef tallow or duck fat or whatever, or olive oil or avocados, right? Avocados are fruits, right? So avocado oil is fine.
I'll take olive oil, especially being Greek now.
Oh yeah, no, that's good. So stuff like that, like fruit oils, coconuts, olives, avocado. But not seed oils. Like if somebody says like, oh, grape seed oil is good for you, just ask yourself, is it a seed? Is it an oil? Okay, it's bad.
Right. Yeah.
Just keep it simple. And you'll notice your testosterone genes are good, right?
Yeah. There's nothing
so I'm not surprised that you think your testosterone's high. I totally agree. I'm sure it's really high. It's just, you're just suppressing a little bit of the potential from the inflammation from dairy/grains. And estrogen's good too, man. Like resveratrol, if anything, you have low estrogen, which is not a problem. I wouldn't worry about that gene. And the thyroid, you have a couple genes here, but it's back to the intermittent fasting because you have less autophagy in your thyroid gland. How do you get that up? You just fast. Skip breakfast, you'll have actually more energy. And again, you'll notice this more with age, but make sure you get iodine occasionally too, like eat seafood or something.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it in the email, but I have like
seaweed.
The seaweed, but I don't know if that's necessarily good because seaweed comes with sunflower oil.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's the Kirkland one from Costco. So
yeah, well, I'd say it's all right. I mean, you're probably only getting a little bit of it,
right?
If you can find it without, but yeah.
I mean, I'll have just tuna once a week then, or fish once a week.
Yeah, exactly. Just do fish. You can have seaweed once a week. Just don't have it every day, maybe. Because having seed oils occasionally is fine, but having them every day, it is probably a problem,
Yeah, especially probably when you go intermittent fasting, your stomach and gut is sensitive, and like the first thing that you eat, so probably not the best thing to have the sunflower oil.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's too bad they do that, huh?
Yeah.
Oils into everything. They're just cheap, but yeah, that's how I mean, just keep getting that iodine. You don't need more than once a week. Just eat seafood once a week, you're fine.
Right.
But the next gene, BCHE, rare gene, man. This is one I was kind of hinting at before. We're going to talk a little bit more about diet later. This is it. Nightshades. You're also more sensitive to nightshades, which is unusual. Very rare.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's some people that have this, and of course they're the ones that you probably even heard of nightshades, right?
I know, honestly, this is the first time I've ever heard of the word nightshades.
Oh wow, yeah, because
Yeah.
some people talk about this because they have this gene, and they think everybody should avoid nightshades. Like there's books written on this, like, oh, everybody should avoid nightshades. You feel amazing, and then people do it, and they're like, I don't feel any different. But for somebody like yourself who's sensitive to them, then when you cut them out, you feel a lot better. And again, age 26, you probably don't feel that much different, but it's still worth doing. And this is where the potatoes come in, unfortunately, because potatoes, eggplants, they're nightshades. I think tomatoes are too. It kind of, like I say, you're more of a carnivore, man, like animal products. Leafy greens, fine. Some carbs, but I would say, like, here's your short list, and just kind of make a short list.
Yeah.
Like rice and I don't know if sweet potatoes are. I would look up nightshades. I'm not that much of an expert. This is a very rare gene. I don't talk about it that often. Let me just Google sweet potatoes. Jeez, stupid Google.
So wait, it says pepper as in
like bell peppers, like green.
Wow.
Yeah.
So and even cayenne pepper and everything. And
oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
but you're not eating.
No, I wanted to like win a championship or like hot wing championship, and the show Hot Ones. I was thinking, I was thinking like one day I'm gonna get famous, and then they're gonna invite me, and then I'm gonna eat hot wings every single day, so I look like I am perfectly normal by the time I get to the. There it goes. It's over now.
Nah, the dream is shot. No, man. I mean, you're fine with hot sauce and stuff. It's probably not as great for you, but it's like if you're eating a whole pepper, that's a lot of pepper plant. If you're eating a little bit of hot sauce, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean it's definitely harder on your system. And caffeine, the reason I was talking about coffee earlier and I was looking at this gene when I was like, yeah, it's better that you're avoiding caffeine because this gene makes it more toxic for your body. Caffeine is a pesticide, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Really?
Well, yeah, like it's natural, but plants make caffeine to kill insects.
Huh.
Like in their seeds, they put it in the coffee beans and stuff. Sometimes it's in the leaves, like in green tea or whatever, but it's usually in the seeds of plants because they don't want the insects to eat their seeds, so they just put a bunch of caffeine in there.
Right. Oh, that's interesting.
But yeah, man, so that's a rare gene, definitely a troublemaker for a lot of people. But again, just find a list of carb sources. Like berries are great, rice is great, corn, like corn tortillas and stuff. All the greens, like I say, like cook up some carrots, instead of mashed potatoes, make mashed carrots, stuff like that. Like figure out kind of a system, and then that's your go-to. Once in a while, cheat, no big deal.
Right.
But in general, that would be the suggestion because you're trying to put on muscle mass, and all this inflammation stuff is going to inhibit that.
Yeah. All
spinning wheels.
Yeah. Well, my parents and everyone around me is going to kill me whenever I'm like going out for dinner or something like that.
I mean, I just have wings or whatever. Like that's what I do. I just literally get a burger without a bun. Have a steak, or like there's plenty of carnivore type options on the menus usually.
Right, that's true.
Just lean into those,
Right.
And even when I travel, if I'm in the middle of nowhere like Arkansas, I'll go to McDonald's, no joke, and I'll order like 3 hamburgers without the bun, and they put it in like this little clamshell container. It's kind of funny. They'll just throw the patties right in there, and you get 3 burger patties. You eat them, and you feel amazing. Whereas if I eat the bun, man, I feel like shit.
Right. Well,
so it's not the burger meat. Yeah.
It's the bun.
Yeah, and that's what I do when I travel a lot. I also go to Chipotle, and then they're like, "What rice do you want?" And I'm like, "No rice." And they're like, "What beans do you want?" I'm like, "No beans." Like, I just want the meat, the avocados, sour cream, and you're dairy sensitive, so I wouldn't even do that, But basically, I just try and go pretty carnivore, and people think it's weird when they see me, but I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, look at you. You're the optimal health. You probably maxed out your testosterone levels and.
Oh yeah. So. Well, and plus I have a prescription. I still have a prescription for it, even though I'm at like 700. Because if I get injured, I like to juice up a little bit.
Right, makes sense. Makes sense.
Because I'm not a pro athlete, I'm gonna get tested. I don't care. Because you heal so much faster if you get injured and you take testosterone.
Right.
Like unbelievable. It's like, okay, so I'm gonna, I don't care. But yeah, man. So that's a tough gene. The next section is the B9 that comes up, and I would like. Well, how often do you eat leafy greens, or do you eat them like every other day? Let's say.
Basically every other day.
You're
It's
fine.
usually like a salad of some sort.
Yeah. If you keep doing that, you're fine here. If you don't, add this supplement 5-MTHF. But if you're eating leafy greens occasionally, you're fine. And B12, this is one I would check because you eat meat. I wouldn't just run out and buy a B12 supplement necessarily because you might not need it because you're eating meat. Just check your blood, at some point.
Okay.
And if your B12 is even a little bit low on the range, take it. Like you want to be on the high end of the range, more energy. B12 gives you a lot of energy. It's noticeable.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's noticeable. Like if you take a B12 shot, if you inject it, you get a boost. Like the military, they do this all the time, and you get a big boost of energy. Feel it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
There's no problem with like overdosing on these
Nope.
kind of things. No. Okay. Cool.
No, you just piss it out.
Right. Because the supplement, the 5-MTHF, I only see it in like 1,000 microgram form.
Yeah, that's okay too. It just costs more.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, some people take like 10,000 micrograms. They take 10 milligrams, which is 10,000 micrograms. You're just pissing all that out, but it's fine. It's not gonna hurt you.
Cool.
And vitamin E, be careful with vitamin E. So don't get a multivitamin or something because they'll have this fake version of vitamin E. It's called tocopherol. It'll cause inflammation in your body. It's not good. So avoid that. You don't have to do any supplementing there. You're eating meat. You're getting the real stuff, tocotrienols, but just avoid the fake stuff. Heavy metals, arsenic, you don't do particularly well with, so avoid Brussels sprouts. Once in a while, sure, whatever, but definitely don't have them all the time.
That's fine. Rarely do I ever have them.
Good. It's funny how many people I talk to and they're like, "Oh, I eat Brussels sprouts all the time. This is so disappointing." It's like, really? Okay. Well, don't eat them.
Yeah.
But fructose also you store up as fat more readily than you burn it as energy. So be careful of fructose. Yeah. And again, I'm not worried you're going to get obese, but you don't want like a little fat around your waist and all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And especially the liquid forms of fructose, like high fructose corn syrup, soda, fruit juice.
Honestly, I never had those. Like
Good.
I used to. It was only until like last year that I had Coca-Cola, and it was like sometime in like summertime, and then the time before that was probably like 4 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's what it should be. I mean, with your genes, that's the ideal way to do it. So, and that's why I like berries too, because berries don't really have fructose; they have glucose.
Oh, okay. There we go.
You can eat loads of berries and all different types of berries. But yeah, man, that's basically the vitamin section. Hormones. Hormones are great, by the way. Do you have any questions on that section?
It was the pesticides and cleaning chemicals. I just came up with the idea. So you're saying my body has problems detoxing, right? So would you recommend then like getting a sauna or?
Yeah, but I mean, I would say like the most important thing is avoiding that stuff, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like don't put it in your system. But yeah, saunas help, man. I'm a huge fan of sauna. And tell your dad too, by the way, like it decreases heart disease. Like it improves your heart dramatically,
So I guess the cleaning products, like I gotta find proper soap as opposed to like the Old Spice bar soap and shampoos and everything like that.
Yeah, I go super fragrance free, right? Like the more usually it's the fragrances that are like the nasty chemicals because they just like they don't care about your health when they're making fragrance. They care about how it smells and how much you buy it, right? How much attraction to it.
Exactly.
So
I guess not even colognes either.
Oh yeah, I would avoid those. Yeah.
Great. I bought all these colognes and like they smell great, but I can't use them.
Well, put them on your shirt instead of on your skin, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Like it's not quite the same, but then you can use them.
I see. Okay.
That's generally my suggestion, because if you're putting them on your skin, your body's soaking them up. Your skin is kind of like another mouth, right?
Right. Right.
And if it's a bunch of nasty chemicals, that's the last thing you need. You're trying to increase testosterone, especially.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll have to shave my head so I can avoid using shampoo then.
Now you can get good shampoos. I have one on my website. It's cheap. Walmart sells it. Zero.
Oh, yeah?
It doesn't fragrance and stuff. But yeah,
Okay.
no, I mean but it's hard. Yeah, it's hard out there. It's like most of the products are shitty, right?
Yeah.
In terms of paying, like in terms of health. But yeah. Any other questions on that section?
Nothing I can think of. Oh, I think I just skipped over to the gym section. Fructose, we covered everything. Oh, my mom, because like I was telling her about this yesterday, she was like, "Well, why not B17? My uncle told me that or my brother told me B17 is good. Why don't you ask him about B17?" And it's just like, okay, sure. What does that even mean?
I don't even know. Is that a B vitamin?
It is, yeah, I think it's a B vitamin, but like if it's not in here, it's like, well, why my brother asking?
Well, yeah. Well, no, I've never even heard of it. I don't think B17 is a vitamin. Type it into Wikipedia and into Google, and you just get a bunch of stuff about an airplane.
Oh, there you go. It's vitamin B17 natural cancer treatment. It's like, wow.
Oh, cancer treatment. She's talking about like amygdalin or something.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Oh, yeah, they do call that B17. Interesting. Yeah, amygdalin is actually a toxin, right? Like, if you take, I think it comes from, it has I think it has arsenic in it, actually. Let me just look it up. I can't remember. I've done research on this. I mean, people use it for cancer. That's where it becomes like known. It's not technically a B vitamin. Let me just look it up and refresh my memory a little bit. Like look up the structure. Oh, it's got cyanide on it. That's what it is. It's basically like a sugar with a cyanide attached to it. So it's literally a toxin.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So like if you look it up on Wikipedia, it says amygdalin is a naturally occurring chemical compound found in many plants, most notably in the seeds of apricots, almonds, apples, peaches. Like you don't want to eat the peach seed, the peach pit, because it's literally toxic. It has tons of amygdalin. Why do they put it in there? Because the plants don't want you to eat it.
Right.
It's the same as lectins, right? Like it'd be the worst for you to have amygdalin, B17.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. There we go. Case closed.
Yeah. The only reason people talk about it is because there's some studies indicating that cyanide can kill cancer, and that's a legitimate argument. But I think there's better ways to get rid of cancer. The most important thing is cancer cells feed on sugar. So if your blood sugar is super high, you're promoting cancer.
That makes sense.
It's actually kind of an interesting question, but I don't put it on the report because it's not actually a vitamin.
Right.
But yeah, and sometimes some vitamins aren't on here also because there's literally no known genes that cause issues with any aspect of them.
I see.
But yeah, anything else?
No, that basically covers it. Well, I guess like this is part of the testosterone part though. Is like there's nothing here about like having like a red light therapy or anything like that. But
yeah, it doesn't make that much difference relative to your genes. But red light increases everybody's testosterone if you put it on your testes.
Yes.
But that's not like a genetic thing. That's just everybody.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. I was just kind of wondering. Well, I remember seeing what's his name, Callum's results. I think you recommended like a specific kind of like wavelength or something like that. And
oh yeah, for the red light.
Yeah, I guess does it really matter? Because like I'm trying to find like a relatively inexpensive red light as opposed to Juve.
Yeah, right, exactly. No, the near infrared is the one you want. You want near infrared, not far infrared.
Okay.
It's better in terms of testosterone.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I'll order that for my birthday.
Yeah, man. Nice. Yeah, I have a couple of them, but they send them to me for free. Like Juve has sent me 2 of them for free over the years.
Nice.
So I don't even have to pay for them. So it's like, makes it easy, right?
I guess I got to talk about Juve on a YouTube channel. And
Yeah, exactly.
no, send them.
No, I mean, yeah. Well, the gym section, right?
Yes.
So your mix, yeah, your mix between fast and slow twitch, meaning you can do the heavy lifting, you can do the endurance training. You're very versatile. You can do whatever. You'll get benefits from anything.
Mm. Okay.
So I don't have that much of a preference for what your training protocol looks like. Just do something, right? Make sure you're working out.
Right. Yeah.
And
Well,
usually,
yeah. Go ahead.
well, I was gonna say usually if you're not on steroids, you get the most benefit with 5 sets of 5 reps. That's usually the ideal for guys that aren't on steroids for maximizing muscle mass. 5 by 5, right?
Mm.
And it's pretty well known. Like even Arnold Schwarzenegger started before he started taking drugs and stuff. He's talked about how he started on the 5 by 5 routine. There's like this routine you do. It's with squatting, deadlifting, benching, rowing, and overhead press and pull down. Just those 6 movements. It's called the 5 by 5 report, and you can look it up. There's a guy named Mehdi, M-E-D-H-I, that wrote about this, the 5 by 5.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the 5x5 report, Mehdi. It's written like an infomercial, that particular one, but it's really good. Like as long as you can get over this whole like, oh, you're gonna get jacked and you're gonna get huge. Like as long as you can get past all that, it's actually he lays it out really good.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you're versatile. You don't have to do that. I'm just saying that works super well for most people if you're not on steroids.
Right. Right. Well, I'm just now wondering, when it comes to whenever I work out, I get like yawning and tired, and
Oh yeah.
I'm wondering if that has to do with the inflammation.
A little bit, but also it's just your body needs to rest more.
Okay.
And so that's one of the challenges of having like a career and getting jacked, right? Is a lot of people are like, well, because training makes me feel tired, then I can't do both, so I'll just not train ever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm hoping that I can have like semi-retirement soon.
Well, you'll definitely have more energy from getting rid of inflammation. So it's a little bit of a yes, right?
Right.
It's like, yeah, it makes you tired because your muscles are trying to grow, and then also it makes you tired because you do have more inflammation than you should.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to help to cut the inflammation for sure.
Right. Okay, good.
Yeah. And you might be overdoing it a little bit. Like read the 5 by 5 and you'll see how easy it is. It's like 15 minutes 3 times a week, and you can get big doing that.
15 minutes. Okay. I'll take that any day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's surprising. I mean, after about a year, you got to do like more like a half an hour, 45 minutes. But for the first year or so, it's actually easy. And you want it to be easy. You want your joints to like develop really slow, and because the joint tissue takes a long time. Otherwise, you get injured 2 years into it, and then it'll set you way back. Gotcha. Patience is the key, man.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Most people that try big, they try and go too fast, and then they set themselves way back.
Yeah.
Diet and patience. And then the inflammation with your joints is a big risk, but all of those genes are HLA for the most part, the 6-fold, 4-fold. Like you definitely have a lot of arthritis risk, but those are only triggered by high insulin. In other words, blood sugar.
Oh, okay.
Blood sugar is good. There's no problems here. If your blood sugar is super high, yeah, you're going to screw your joints over.
Right.
It's that simple, because that IL-2 gene at the top is only a problem if you're eating if you're inflamed, or if you have a chronic inflammation problem from dairy and grains and whatever. And if your testosterone's low, so worth keeping your T high. Your T genes are good. Your blood sugar is probably good if you check it. So I'm not super worked up on that, even though it looks really rough, right? Yeah, and then the joints with the blood flow, HTR2A. I mean, keep moving. You don't have to supplement anything here. Just keep exercising, keep moving.
Okay, cool.
You're fine. And the gout, I'm also not worried about. That's a fructose gene. So yeah, if you're eating tons of fruit sugars, like drinking soda and stuff, you'll get gout when you're 50 years old. Honestly, though, it's not really a worry even now. It comes on with age much more than you never see gout in people your age.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing a ton of sugar, but it would be bad for your joints to do a ton of sugar. Now, bone density is great too, man. You have 2 genes for strong bones and 1 gene for weaker bones. So you actually have an advantage. You have good genes.
Oh, good.
And pain sensitivity is normal. And the sleep section is actually very strong, right?
Oh, good.
Like if you jump to the sleep section, there's only 2 genes and they're not even plus plus. The clock gene is very magnesium sensitive, so make sure you take magnesium before you go to bed. I would recommend take all your supplements at noon, like at lunchtime, and then take magnesium. That's the only one. You take that in the evening before bed. It calms you down, makes you feel tired.
Yeah. Well, I just ordered 2 bottles of magnesium malate, and I think that's more for exercise. And it is actually, it relaxes you. Oh, okay, because I thought it was more like getting more energy.
Malate? No, I mean they use it as like a laxative. Like if you're stopped up, you'll notice it, right? Like, if you take too much, it'll give you diarrhea big time.
Oh, I see. Oh, am I taking the wrong magnesium then, or?
Not necessarily. Just don't take very much.
Oh, okay. I just
don't need much. Well, try it. If you start getting diarrhea from like a very small dose, well, yeah, I get rid of it.
Right. Okay.
And get like the glycinate. But yeah, it doesn't matter that much which type you get, to be honest, because you probably go to sleep just fine for the most part.
Yeah.
You have pretty good sleep genes. The main thing is just that you get enough you're not deficient in magnesium. If you're deficient in magnesium, your sleep cycles are going to suffer.
Okay.
And blue light too, man. Be careful with blue lights in the evenings, like the screens and the phones and all that stuff. Like wear blue blocker glasses if you do a lot of that right before bed.
Yeah, I have them right beside me right now, and I put on the blue light filter on my computer. And
nice, good job. Yeah.
On my phone too, yeah.
Yeah, you're more sensitive, so it will disrupt your sleep more than most people. But yeah, keep doing that. You're good.
Okay, sweet. One question I had with the lectins, are nuts essentially?
No, well, unfortunately, like the nuts that most people like have lectins in them, and the ones that people don't like don't.
Okay. Which ones?
Basically, the only nuts with lectins are peanuts, which are basically just beans, right? They're legumes.
Yep.
So peanuts, almonds, and cashews, I think, are the big 3.
Ah, dang it. Okay.
Exactly. Those are the ones that everybody likes, right?
Cashews.
Like people don't even like eating, whatever. Like pecans are good, I guess. But most people don't like the other nuts that much. But
I take pecans, yeah. I think I saw a video of yours saying that macadamia nuts as well is not a good one.
They're good. No, they're good. I think. Yeah, macadamia is great, man. I didn't do that video for sure because I've always they have really good omega-3 to omega-6 ratio compared to most nuts. Let me just type in macadamia nuts lectins compared to lesser nuts like peanuts, almonds, cashews, macadamia. Oh, lower lectin levels. Yeah, so they barely have any lectins.
Oh, okay.
They're fine for you. Some people they might have problems with for some other reason or something. The problem with macadamia is they're just expensive.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I know Costco. Yeah, Costco has like that box.
Yeah, the big
blue box that has. But it probably comes with almonds and cashews. So.
No, they have this like clear plastic container of them, and it's freaking crazy expensive. It's always like, oh my shit, because every once in a while I tell my wife to get them, and then she brings them back, and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at the price tag. But like, what was I thinking? But I think they're the best nut, to be honest. Like in terms of omega-3 to omega-6, and the fact that they don't have that much lectin, I think macadamia is probably the best. It's just too expensive to recommend having all the time.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Yeah, man. Any other questions?
I was wondering. This doesn't tell me though the like the kind of exercise regimen I should be doing.
No.
This is
fast. No, not necessarily. You're pretty versatile. If you had a bunch of genes that like pigeonholed you into one type of exercise or another, I would have told you.
Right. True. Okay.
But I would suggest the 5x5, man. Like you don't underestimate the power of the 5x5 routine. Danny Vega did it back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was wondering. I was gonna ask that.
Almost everybody who's just like gigantic, they've done a version of it, or they've done the actual 5x5. It's fundamental. It's like the foundation of strength. And then after you've really hit plateaus with that 5x5, then you can go on to other different types of things,
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So Just trying to think now.
Mm-hmm.
Creatine, okay, iodine. Okay, so I gotta go. Not even just gluten free. I gotta go grain free, dairy free,
Correct.
nightshade free.
Yeah, man. Plants.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a short list of plants.
Oh, but it's not a problem though then to just eat the same thing over and over again, is
Oh,
it?
not at all. No way. It's good.
Okay. Okay. That was kind of one thing that I was kind of worried
Oh
about.
man, do you know Dr. Sean Baker from California? Or do you know who he is?
I think I've heard of that name. I think is he the one that only eats meat every
Meat.
single day?
Correct.
He's
He's
on
done it for
Joe
like
Rogan's
seven
podcast.
years. Yeah, exactly. He's been on Rogan. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. I've seen him. Yeah. Yeah, I watched
Yeah,
his
he's a
podcast.
friend of mine. He's legit, man. I've gone out to eat with him and stuff, and he legit eats like 5 pounds of meat, and that's it. He'll have like 5 steaks. It's funny.
That's wild.
And he won't have any veggies at all ever. And he's set world records. Like, and that's literally he doesn't even eat liver or anything. He just eats freaking steak and eggs, and every once in a while like some salmon, but pretty much no variety ever.
Jeez. But I guess
And
he has to supplement though, right?
no, never. He doesn't take a single supplement.
Really?
Hmm.
Wow. Okay.
No, man, because your body's made of meat, right?
Yeah.
So if you eat meat, guess what? All those nutrients that you need are there, and your body assimilates them very well and very readily.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if you eat plants, there's all these weird fibers and all these weird fats that your body doesn't have, and these weird proteins that your body doesn't have. Your body has to process it so much differently.
Hmm.
It's more of a challenge, right? So yeah, I wouldn't get caught up trying to worry about diversity for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Especially with
Okay.
your genes, right? Like your genes, I would keep it simple.
Yeah, just meat and greens.
Yeah. What a lot of guys do is when they're trying to put on weight, it's hard because you got to eat a lot. So what they do is they pre-make 5 meals for Monday through Friday and on
Yeah.
weekends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you just like cook up a huge batch of rice and you dish it out into stuff, and then you big old thing of hamburger meat or whatever the thing is.
Right. Yeah.
That might help, but it's simple. Keep it simple.
Yeah. The whole chicken, rice, broccoli thing that the Hollywood actors do and all.
Yeah, it works. I mean, the problem with rice is if you're eating rice at lunch and stuff, you're gonna feel really tired. I would just say go low carb all day,
Right. And then
preferably zero carb. Yeah, and then at dinner throw the rice in, and then you'll feel super tired.
gotcha. Yeah.
That's what you want when it's bedtime.
Carb all day. And then the rest of the evening.
Yeah, rice, corn, berries, fruits. You can have fruits. Don't have liquid fruits, but
Yeah. I was on your website about the fructose thing. I was very happy to see that pineapple was there.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah, pineapple, peaches, yeah.
Well,
You can have apples and bananas and stuff occasionally. You just don't have them all the time. I know if you're making smoothies, people put that stuff in there usually.
yeah.
But yeah, lean towards the pineapples for sure.
Oh, one thing I wanted to ask before we end this is so given these results, I guess how bad would it be if like the rest of my family were to follow similar regimens as well, seeing as my brother shares like 56% of my genes?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, it's hard to predict, right? Because like I do whole families sometimes with DNA consults, and like if the mom has a plus plus and the dad has a plus plus, of course all the kids have a plus plus, right?
Right. That makes sense.
Validates how good the DNA thing works because every single person will always have it. It's never an exception. But if the mom has a plus minus and the dad has a plus minus, all bets are off, right?
Right. That makes sense.
And so it is hard to predict because you don't know what your parents are looking at. But most likely that there's some dairy sensitivity, there's some grain issues. Like for sure, if you want to just guess, that's a good way to do it. It's an educated guess, right? Like it makes sense.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If I was you, man, I would have your dad do his DNA. Because otherwise, what they've probably done is they probably put him on like statins and all this nonsense that's not doing anything for him.
Mm.
And they might even have him on blood thinners and stuff. Like it's not going to help, most of the time.
Yeah, I think that's what he was on, was on blood thinners.
Right. Yeah, it's very predictable what they do in the modern system, but they basically wait until you're dying and then they like scramble and put you on a bunch of prescription drugs,
Hmm.
And it doesn't really solve the problem. It's like a Band-Aid. They just keep throwing Band-Aids on,
Yeah, and not getting to the root of the issue. Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, keep up the good work, and of course, say hi to Callum for me. Any other like final questions or anything?
Yeah. Speaking of Callum, I was just texting him right now. Callum, I'm finishing a call with Dr. Anthony J. I can't eat anything.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least you can eat meat, man.
I'll take the meat every day of the week. But no, yeah, everything's good. No, this was great. I really appreciate it, Dr.
Yeah,
Anthony
go like
J.
compare your report to Callum and see what you guys come up with. It'd be kind of
Yeah,
interesting.
we'll do.
All right, man. Well, good to talk to you, and like I say, save the file before Skype deletes it.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, right on. Cool, love. Good to talk to you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for everything. Really
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
this.
Good day. Yeah.
Okay, you too.
All right. Yeah. Bye.